Sorry for the delay, folks. The Christmas season got me real busy, as well as a surprise invitation to Mr. Nice Guy's Anituber Anthology series for the Japan Animator Expo. You can find a link to that whole project down in the description, but for now, let's talk more Ganba no Bouken. So the first big thing I noticed in this episode was how great the chemistry was between all the other characters. We had established relationships with other characters beforehand. We had Bobo and Ganba and Yoisho and Gakusha, but this is the first time that we're seeing really strong dynamics between other characters. I think it's very easy for a series to forget to do that. Sometimes you just have a character who kind of acts out on his own or has his own specific characterization, but the author never came up with a way for him to bounce off of other characters, which I think is way more interesting and effective than just him being an interesting character on his own. So we see dynamics between Ganba and Yoisho. These two are both really physically active, and Yoisho actually kind of acts a little more of a mentor for Ganba. He isn't his senpai or anything like that, but he is the most rational, level-headed of the group, but he's kind of the most like Ganba in terms of acting heroically and being brave and tough, I guess. So you have Ganba looking up to Yoisho a lot, and Yoisho reciprocating that and giving him advice and plenty of leadership. I think there's a good bond between the two of them there. Chuta and Ganba are also bonding, and it's more of a little brother thing. Like, it's definitely Chuta looking up to Ganba for the same reasons that Ganba looks up to Yoisho. And Yoisho actually kind of looks down a bit on Chuta because he knows how not ready he is, and he isn't bonding with Chuta as much. He's more of like, all right, that kid, that's a kid, you know? But Ganba is a lot more friendly to Chuta. You see him playing around with him a lot, kind of cracking stuff with him, and it's more of a friendly relationship between the two of them. I think also because Chuta really appreciates Ganba because he was the first one to actually care about his situation. So that's why I think he bonds with Ganba the strongest. We see a little scene between Bobo, Gakusha, and Ikisama, and this was a cool dynamic because we haven't seen Gakusha not with Yoisho or the doctor, so we see him interacting with characters we've never seen before. And he bonds with Bobo a little bit, trying to get him on his side against this bet that he has against Ikisama. We've seen that he's bonded a little more with Bobo because of the previous episode. Bobo has some more friendliness with Ikisama, but Gakusha is egging him on a little bit more. So there's this really cool triangle dynamic, and then there's another triangle dynamic with Ganba, Chuta, and Yoisho. And that means that, and it seems like the doctor is kind of left out on the whole thing. And yeah, we don't see a whole lot of dynamics with him with other characters, but everyone really respects him. He names the ship that they're on later. He is, he's present in the episode, I think, but maybe less so than the others. That's okay though. There was really good teamwork in this episode too that you see. You have Chuta getting caught in this mouse trap, and Ikisama's the one who's like, all right, the humans are coming, I'm going to make sure they don't come, I'll have them chase me instead. And then you have Gakusha being like, all right, I have a plan, guys, here's what we'll do. And then he's like, Bobo, use your weight to land on this spoon. So it's a good teamwork thing to help a friend out. And there's no cracks among the group. I don't think there's anyone who's like, oh, I don't trust that guy, or I don't like that one guy. And I think that could be cause for criticism maybe so far, that there isn't any interesting power dynamics. But I don't think that that's what this show is about at all. That's not what they're going for. I think it's important that all of them bond together, laugh together, be sad together, that we see a little later as well. It's important because the team dynamic is vital in order for them to take down their adversary. I don't think they should have any dissension in the group, really. And I'm happy that isn't the case. I think it might come off a little tired if that was the case. So this episode, they crash, the boat somehow sinks. I don't understand. It was kind of hard to understand how the boat sinks, but I guess it's okay because the whole show is from the perspective of the mice, and the mice have no clue. They wouldn't have any idea. So it doesn't make sense for the audience to really know how the ship goes down in this storm, and I think that's okay. So they try to kill off Bobo in this episode. They think that he's drowned and they don't know where he is. He's missing. And I thought this was too early to do something like this. It was already 4 episodes in. There's been other shows that kill characters off this early. I think Outlaw Star has something like this. But it seemed a little suspicious, and it did turn out to be a fake out, which is predictable. And I think what made it up for me because I couldn't really attach myself to this. I'm like, there's no way he's actually dead. I can't believe this. No way. It would be really interesting if that was actually the case, but I had my doubts, and they turn out to be right. So that's an instance of the audience kind of thinking too far ahead of the script. I don't think that was what they intended the audience to think. They wanted him to think that he actually died. But I think what really saved the scene was how the characters reacted to this event, as well as the aftermath to that event, because they took it so seriously. The characters were all like really kind of stunned. There wasn't anything over dramatic about it. It was like, oh, god damn. Oh, it was really like that sucks, and like really like they felt really bad about it. And when they find out that he isn't really dead, they're like, they're completely overjoyed about it, and like, thank God. And they sold the emotion very well. That's definitely due to the performances. That's definitely due to the animation. That definitely saved it. I think it felt really good. So now we're at this point that's like, oh man, are they actually going to kill anyone at this point? Because if they do, that's going to be so brutal, because they've bonded so close at this point. I'm kind of expecting a thing where there's some self-sacrifice happening. If you're getting attached to these characters now, it's if you're starting to really feel glued to them, it's going to really sting when they get ripped apart. I'm hoping that happens, because I think it will make for some really good catharsis. So I really enjoy the new motif that they introduced, and they had brought it up in the imagery in the opening and in some of the credits and stuff, but there's apples, and there's a kind of an apple motif going on, and they finally brought that up. It's because the box that they find Bobo in, and that becomes their new ship, is just full of apples, and apples are basically their way of surviving, so they have to eat apples for a while. And I think it kind of becomes this hope motif a little bit, and I don't think it's going to be something like a Fruit of Knowledge type motif. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I think it's really cool that they have a physical motif for that now, like a symbol. They make it their flag. It's on a lot of the promotional stuff, I think. So like it's kind of cool. So I like the note that they leave at the end. Now every episode has been really like uplifting. They leave it on a positive note. They found a way every episode to sink the characters into really high tension or really hard lows, but then they bring it back up at the end where they're like, oh, we're all together, yeah, we're gonna face this monster. Or right here in this episode, they're like, well we don't know where we're going. Oh, well, that's fine, we'll find it, that's totally okay, we'll make it there somehow, we'll Ganba. And I like that they even left it off on that note, even though there's no real reason to. Like, it's not resolved. They actually don't know where they're going. And I also thought it was kind of fitting, because this was the same episode that Senritsu has subbed. It's the first time that anyone has subbed this into English, as far as we're aware of. There was a previous effort to subtitle this show, and they only got 3 episodes in. So this was the first uncharted episode for Senritsu. And that was very exciting. And the show doesn't know where they're going. Senritsu doesn't know where they're going. It felt really poetic and nice. So yeah, I think that will do it for that episode. And I think I might be making this a 2-parter, because by the time I put this video out, the next episode will have already been out. So I'm going to release both of them kind of at the same time, hopefully. But hey, I hope you check out that Anituber Expo that I'm in with Mr. Nice Guy and a bunch of other people. Digibro, Canapa Effect, Pedantic Romantic, Roger Smith, Glass Reflections in there, and some small talent. You got Zaria, you got Mudan. Oh, I'm sorry, I just started name dropping people. Oh, that was a bad idea. Now I'm gonna make other people feel bad. We got Anitubers large and small representing, so come on down, it's a good time. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. I'm also really happy it's not something like cheese, right, where instead of like the apples, it's just like a wedge of cheese. It's like, oh geez, this is really predictable. Like, okay, I get it, you hope, but it's full of holes. Haha, Swiss cheese or something, I don't. That'd be real cheesy. Oh, God.